Hey everybody, it's Ed Conarchy and welcome back to the final issue of Conarchy's Corner for 2009. I hope everybody's had a great 2009 and I wish everyone a very prosperous and happy 2010. Really quick, I want to cover a topic that's going to hit the headlines. It already has with all the publications I've been reading, and you're starting to see it because January 1st, 2010 has got a new law in place concerning IRA accounts, your individual retirement accounts, that I think is very, very important to make sure that we get covered so people don't make mistakes that they could later regret. Financial mistakes. So let's go through this. Congress has come out and said that the limit on $100,000 of adjusted gross income, that if you make more than $100,000 of adjusted gross income, in years past you've not been able to convert your traditional or deductible IRA into a Roth IRA. Well, they are lifting that limit and no longer requiring that limit and letting everybody go ahead and convert their traditional or what we call deductible IRA to a Roth IRA in 2010. And it's grabbing headlines, and a lot of people are looking at it as a great opportunity to take their IRAs and put it into Roth IRAs. Now why? Remember, a traditional IRA does not charge you any taxes up front. It's tax deductible when you can contribute that money into it, and it grows tax free. The only catch is, since you didn't pay taxes at all on any of that money that was contributed, when you go to withdraw that money in retirement, you have to pay the taxes. The benefits to a Roth IRA is your withdrawals in retirement are not taxed, so you get 100% of the money out. The only reason, obviously there's no such thing as a free lunch in this case, the only reason why the Roth is tax-free at withdrawal time is because you pay taxes on it up front. So should you convert your IRA? You can with this new law, should you? The answer for most people that we find is no, and let me explain to you why. And I think this has been a subject that I've been really passionate about. You've heard me talk about it a lot. Is that emotionally the headlines sound wonderful. How do you take your account, which when you pull the money out, you get taxed on it in the future, and turn it into an account when you pull the money out? It's not taxed in the future, it's tax-free. And tax-free withdrawal sounds very appealing, but again, like I said, it's because you're paying the taxes up front. So let's do an exercise. Let's separate here the emotional headlines of that feeling or that sounding good tax-free withdrawals, and do the financial aspect, the numbers and the dollars and cents of it to see if it works. And that's where my passion is, and I think it's really important to understand that what I'm focused on with all my clients today is don't just do what sounds good or feels good, do what's right for you financially. This is about growing wealth for future needs so that every year you're wealthier for your loved ones and your family members. It's not about doing what's right or sounds right and taking that advice from people that aren't looking out for your best interest. So take the example and let's do the math. So you want to take your IRA, and let's just say for argument's sake you have a $100,000 IRA today and you want to convert it to the Roth. Remember, you have to now pay the taxes today. The most common tax bracket, the federal tax bracket we see most of our clients in, is a 25% tax bracket. So going ahead and paying the taxes on that $100,000 IRA leaves you with $75,000. Let's assume by the time you retire, that money in that account doubles, that $75,000 will grow to $150,000. Now let's say we take your traditional IRA and we just leave it alone. We don't do any of this. We don't fall captive to these emotionally appealing headlines of tax-free withdrawals, and we keep it the way it is, and over that same period of time we leave it in the same investments we would have left the Roth in. That money doubles by the time you retire. So your $100,000 traditional IRA goes to $200,000. So now you've got $200,000, which, because we didn't switch it, is taxable, on the withdrawals that you take out. 25% tax bracket means 25% of $200,000, $50,000 is taken away to leave you with what? Gang, that same $150,000. What we can prove in this exercise is comparing apples to apples, comparing everything the same, doing the same thing on both accounts, assumes no wealth creation whatsoever by doing this. All this does is accelerates the taxes that you pay. So instead of waiting and paying the taxes down the road, you're paying the taxes today. Now what a lot of people have said is that with this White House, with this administration, and tax brackets going higher, this is a good deal because we're going to assume tax brackets are a much higher level down the road. Remember what I say all the time, when people start to assume things, clearly speculation. And here's what I argue. Exhibit 8 is what I have to say on that. Do you remember what Jimmy Carter's policies were? Think about that. What did the White House administration or the Carter administration change and do, and is any of that still in effect today? No. And if you obviously are looking to retire in 20 to 30 years, the Obama administration will be long gone, even if they are reelected to a second term. So don't let the fear and all the noise of the media out there today scare you about rising tax brackets. They may go up, but what will they be at retirement? We don't know. But do you bet and speculate by paying a lot of taxes today? Well, Congress hopes you do. Congress wants you to do this conversion. Congress wants to get the taxes from you today in exchange for not seeing it down the road. The question is, should you do it? And what we're finding in most cases, it doesn't make sense to do it. In a very small percentage of people, usually people in very low tax brackets, it makes sense. Now remember, in that example, every 2 years Congress changes. So whatever you do today doesn't mean that's what it's going to be at down the road. If you're going to retire in 20 years and Congress changes every 2 years, that means that's 10 Congresses from now. In the White House, that's 5 potential presidents from now. So don't start doing things that you think are going to be right. You'll have egg on your face down the road. What if, think about this, you did this conversion and Congress changes it and decides to now tax Roth IRAs? It would actually become more expensive than leaving your traditional deductible, the IRA, the way it is today. Well, to sort this all out, we're going to tug on my good friend Rick Edelman. I'm a big fan of his, as you know. Rick has been named the #1 independent financial advisor in the whole country. Rick's currently managing over $4 billion in assets for over 12,000 families across the country. And needless to say, he's covered the subject in depth, and he's got a report entitled The IRA Roth Conversion Conundrum, and we're going to make this available to you so that you can read through it and you can see if you should be doing it for your situation. But as you can see by this quick little exercise, I bet you for most people it doesn't make sense to do it, even though the media, other financial planners, other insurance agents that are all going to benefit from this if you convert and put assets under management underneath them, they're going to tell you to do it. And in this case, after reading this report, you wouldn't. To get your report, to get the 6-page report, just simply go to go to eConarchy at ccmclending.com. Again, that's my email address, eConarchy at ccmclending.com. If you're getting this video in an email, simply reply to this email. If you're seeing this online, have it be through Twitter, have it be through YouTube, then obviously go to that email address. Or you can visit my website and go to my blog page inside my website, and that is at edconarchy.com. Well, I hope this has been helpful. I hope this is a great tip. You're going to see a lot about it, and I want you to do the right things financially with your money, not emotionally. And that's my goal for all of you in 2010, is to help you with your money matters, not just your mortgages. Yes, we're doing mortgages, and I've been doing them for 19 years. But now I'm into a much broader range of money in general, and a mortgage is a big part of that. But let's teach you how to do the right things with your money financially. So if you have any financial questions or advice for anything, just let me know. Mortgages, cars, student loans, investments, IRAs, 401ks, you name it, I'm here to help you with that. And that's my pledge to not only myself, but to help you with that too. So in 2010, let's make it a year that we grow our wealth, do the right things with our money. So if you need us for any reason, call us. 847-970-4239 is my direct phone number, and email me or go to my website that we mentioned earlier. Have a great 2010. Wishing you a prosperous and happy 2010.